Good morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Are we doing this with the headset or?
No,
is it a-
ma'am. We're piping it through the courtroom over to the jail.
Okay, thank you. Bueno, señor, diga su nombre, por favor, para que consten actas.
Argenis José Ereu Castillo.
Argenis José Hereu Castillo.
Sir, you've been picked up as a result of committing domestic battery by strangulation.
Señora, usted lo agarraron por cometer agresión física doméstica por estrangulamiento.
Court has reviewed the charging affidavit.
Aquí el documento, la declaración jurada, documento acusatorio.
I find there's sufficient probable cause.
Hallo que hay suficiente indicios de criminalidad.
Bond to be set in the amount of $5,000.
Será 5,000, la fianza será de $5,000.
Okay.
You're not to have any contact with Daniela Gonzalez.
Usted no puede tener contacto ni comunicación con Daniela González.
No contact means no in-person contact.
Al decir no contacto, es contacto en persona.
No third-party contact.
No puede tener contacto por medio de terceras personas,
No social media contact.
ni por los medios sociales.
Telephone contact.
No puede tener contacto por teléfono.
No contact whatsoever.
No puede tener contacto ni comunicación de ninguna manera.
Do you understand?
¿Usted entiende eso?
Okay.
Okay.
You're also not to return to 600 Alexis Ridge Road, number 203.
Tampoco puede regresar a 600 Alexis Ridge Road, número 203.
You can go back one time with the assistance of law enforcement to obtain your personal items only.
Puede regresar una sola vez junto con los agentes policiales solamente para obtener sus pertenencias personales.
Madam Clerk, you have the next court date.
On demand.
Sir, your next court date is on demand, which means that we don't have the date today, so you'll receive notice of it.
Señor, su próxima cita judicial está todavía no está hecha, así que usted va a recibir una notificación cuando se establezca la fecha.
Thank you. You may have a seat.
Muchas gracias. Puede tomar asiento. Okay.
Next cases, 24 CF 3266 and 24 CT 4945. Juan Jimenez Giron.
Approved.
He's approaching. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Señor, decir su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Juan Sebastián Jiménez Girón, 17 de noviembre de 1997.
Juan Sebastián Jiménez Girón, November 17, 1987.
Sir, you're before the court today for a couple of cases.
Señor, usted está aquí en el tribunal por varios cargos.
The first one is driving under the influence.
El primero es por estar conduciendo bajo los efectos.
The court has reviewed the charging affidavit.
Ya yo, en mi calidad de juez, ya he visto la declaración jurada acusatoria.
I find there's sufficient probable cause.
Hallo que hay suficientes indicios de criminalidad.
Bond to be set in the amount of $1,000.
La fianza será en $1,000.
You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs.
Usted no puede ni poseer ni consumir alcohol ni drogas.
The next case is possession of a controlled substance without a prescription.
El siguiente cargo es posesión de una sustancia regulada sin tener una prescripción.
Specifically MDMA,
Específicamente MDMA.
and a charge of possession or use of drug equipment.
Y también el cargo por posesión o uso de equipos de droga.
Court has reviewed the charging affidavit.
El tribunal ya ha repasado la declaración jurada acusatoria.
Find there's sufficient probable cause.
Hallamos que hay suficientes indicios de criminalidad.
Bond on count one will be set in the amount of $2,500.
Para el cargo número 1, la fianza será en $2,500.
Count two, $500.
Para el cargo número 2, $500.
You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs.
No puede poseer ni consumir nada de alcohol ni drogas.
It also appears that you are out on bail for 2024 CF 11054.
También parece que estaba en libertad bajo fianza por el caso 24 CF 1105.
Court will be revoking that bond and setting it at 0.
El tribunal le estará eliminando ese cargo y esa fianza y la pondrá en 0.
Madam Clerk, do you have court dates?
Yes, Your Honor. Next court date will be October 31st, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond will be December 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
La próxima vista será el 31 de octubre a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala del tribunal de 4B y la de la fianza será el 20 de diciembre.
Thank you, sir. You may have a seat.
Muchas gracias, señor. Se puede sentar.
Is there anyone else needing the services of the Spanish interpreter?
¿Hay alguien más que necesita el servicio de un intérprete de español?
No, Your Honor. All right. Thank you for your services. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I please have the second case up? For the second case, it was the second number.
Yes, ma'am. It's 24 CT 4945.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. Lobruchama Pierre.
No application, out of county.
Good afternoon. State your name and date of birth, please.
Beloved Shama, year 10/31, 1994.
Thank you. Have you been picked up as a result of a warrant in case number CF 23003962? There's 0 bond on that. It's out of Polk County. They'll be notified that you're here and when you're ready for pickup. Thank you. Mason Barnett.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Mason Barnett, 10/25/1995.
Sir, you've been picked up as a result of a warrant in case 24 CT 3428 for failing to appear for arraignment. The judge set a $2,000 bond on that. Madam Clerk, do you know his next court date?
Yes, Your Honor. Next court date will be October 31st, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond will be December 23rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Thank you, sir. You may have a seat. Tyler Clement.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Tyler Clement, 05/09/1994.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of a violation of probation for 492022 CF 1150. The judge has set 0 bond on that, and the court will note for the record that this is VFOSC. You have his next court date, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Next court date will be October 31st, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4F.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
You may
ma'am.
have a seat. Kyle Dornberger.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Kyle Dornberger, 02/14/2006.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of a bench warrant that was entered for your failure to appear for violation of probation arraignment. In case 2024 CT 1319, the judge has set a bond in the amount of $2,000. Madam Clerk, you have the next court date?
Yes, it will be October 31st, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond will be December 20th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Sir, you may have a seat. Anaf Hanafi.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Anaf Hanafi, April 24th, 1976.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of a warrant for violation of probation that was entered in 49/2023 CF 3771. There's no bond on that, sir. Madam Clerk, do you have the next court date?
Yes, Your Honor. October 29th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5F.
October 29th. Thank you.
Jonathan Haney.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jonathan Lee Haney, 2/14/1981.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of a warrant for violation of probation in 23 CF 1203. There's no bond on that. Madam Clerk, do you have the next court date?
Yes, Your Honor, October 28th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5A.
Thank you, sir. You may have a seat. Ivory Johnson.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Harvey Johnson, 4290.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of an arrest warrant that was issued. The charges on the warrant are attempted felony murder and aggravated battery. Probable cause was found when the warrant was issued. I've reviewed it and I do concur. State, do you wish to be heard on this?
Yes, Your Honor. State filed a motion for pretrial detention in this case and would be asking you to hold no bond on either count. And I have a copy of the pretrial detention motion for Your Honor.
Well, since we've lost our deputy, can you go ahead and approach with it? Thank you.
I'm setting it now.
Madam Clerk, do you have the dates for the PTD hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Next court date will be October 22nd, courtroom 5A at 8:15 a.m.
All right, Mr. Johnson, the state has filed a motion for your pretrial detention. Bond will remain at $0 on the first count, $10,000 on the second count, with conditions of no return to scene, no contact with victim, witness, or co-defendant, either in person, via telephone, or other mechanisms, no possession of weapons, firearms, or ammunition, but you will be set for your pretrial detention hearing on October 22nd in courtroom 5A at 8:15 a.m. Thank you. Okay, can you bring this back to her? George Nowicki?
The application found to the PD's office, private counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. I understand that you have your own attorney?
No, I do not.
You do not. Madam Clerk, where'd we get that information?
Your Honor, let me check his case. According to his case on Benchmark, it seems Matthew Broke Shields is assigned to his case.
Oh,
That's the private.
so he's actually regional conflict counsel.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Sorry, clerk misunderstood. You have regional conflict counsel. It's Mr. Shields. You've been picked up as a result of 2024 CF 000771 on a bench warrant for failing to appear for pretrial. There's no bond on that, sir. Your attorney will be notified that you are in jail and he will be reaching out to you.
May I speak for one moment, please?
You can, but I will caution you that anything you say is being recorded and can be used against you.
I missed my court date. Everything I'm about to tell you is documented, and all the information and certificates have been forwarded to my judge. I can post
So,
it.
Mr. Nowicki, I'm going to ask you to provide all of that information to your attorney, who will file the proper motion with the court for the court to make a ruling on that. But I will not be doing that today.
I have his.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna lose my job and my place to live.
I'm sorry to hear that,
I've
sir.
been sober for 100 days.
Next court date will be November 19th, 9 a.m., courtroom 4F. Jury trial will be December 3rd, 9 a.m., courtroom 4F.
Earl Penley?
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Carl E. Penley, July 1st, 1957.
Thank you. Sir Henley, you've been picked up as a result of an arrest warrant that was issued on a charge of petty theft with one prior conviction. Probable cause was found when that warrant was issued. I've reviewed it. I do concur with it. Bond to be set in the amount of $2,000. You're not to have any contact with the victim, and you're not to return to the scene. Madam Clerk, do you have the next court date?
On demand.
Sir, we don't know your next court date at this time, so it will be provided to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Roger Penley?
PD approved.
Maybe sign. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Roger Lee Penland, June 4th, 1980.
Thank you. Sir Penley, you've been picked up as a result of an arrest warrant for a charge of petty theft, 2 or more prior convictions in case 24 CF 3243. Probable cause was found when the warrant was issued. I've reviewed it and I do concur with it. Bond to be set in the amount of $2,000. You're not to have any contact with the victim and no return to the scene. Madam Clerk, do you know the next court date?
On demand.
We don't know your next court date, so as soon as they have it, you'll be notified.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Denise Weiss,
PD approved.
thank you.
Denise White, G 11-12-90.
Thank you. Been picked up as a result of grand theft. The court, that is according to a warrant that was issued. The state has also already filed an information. That information was filed on, oh, that's been a long time.
Let me see.
Council, do you know why I'm getting snow? Hold on. Let me go back and look.
I know, that's the most recent.
So this was on a 2020 case, Council?
Yes, Your Honor, it does look like it was. I'm checking.
Okay. Great. Well, regardless, there wasn't information filed, which means the court doesn't need to find probable cause with regard to any arrest. Your bond is going to be set in the amount of $2,500. But it does look like you're out on another charge of grand theft in Lake County, or is that Orange County? I can't read this writing. 20 CF 1862, and then I'm not sure what that says before grand theft.
That's Orange County.
Okay, what does that say right before grand theft?
Conspiracy.
Larceny. LA.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was Orange County, you were out on. Council, can you tell me? Well, actually, that would have been after this case, so I'm not going to take any action. I can tell based on the case number. Madam Clerk, do you know the next court date?
Next court date will be October 29th, 8:45 a.m., courtroom 5F.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Christopher Hernandez.
PD approved.
Council, do you have a motion on this one too? Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth, please?
Christopher Hernandez, August 26, 1992.
Sir, you've been picked up as a result of an aggravated assault with deadly weapon without intent to kill. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. State, do you wish to be heard on this before I make my rulings as to release restrictions?
No, Your Honor, we would just ask for no contact provisions and no possession of a firearm.
All right, bond is going to be set in the amount of $25,000. You're not to return to 8519 Crystal Cove Loop. You can go back one time with the assistance of law enforcement to obtain your personal items only. You're to have absolutely no contact with Federico Rodriguez. No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no telephone contact, no contact whatsoever. Do you understand?
I understand.
Additionally, you're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have any in your possession or control, they need to be turned over to the sheriff's department within 24 hours of your release.
Okay, no problem.
All right, do we know his next court date?
On demand.
Sir, your next court date is on demand, so you'll receive notice of it. Just make sure your address remains updated with the clerk of court.
Thank you.
Thank you. William Osborne,
PD approved.
BFOSC.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
William Osborne, 10/23/1979.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of driving while license suspended with knowledge as a third conviction felony. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $2,500 and a condition of do not drive unless you have a valid Florida driver's license. Do we know its next court date?
On demand.
You'll receive notice. Just make sure you keep your address updated with the clerk, please.
Thank you.
The 12th, Brooks Sabir.
The client refused, Your Honor.
All right. I mean, honestly, these shouldn't have been reset, but since they are, I'll go ahead and make the oral pronouncement on the record. These were over the line for Orange County. We will be prosecuting them here. So we will do an amended order. It will have that language on there, and then everybody will be satisfied. Same thing for 24 CF. Stay, I see you standing.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that one is also out on another case in Orange.
I dealt with him yesterday.
Okay. Yes, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
these last two, I dealt with them yesterday, but they reset them for today because their orders did not specifically include the language that it was over the line.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So for 24 CF 3247, same deal, Andrew Cleany. This one, it was also an over-the-line arrest, so we will be taking care of it here, and all other conditions from yesterday remain the same. Counsel, do we have anyone else over there that I missed?
No, Your Honor.